Hey, my name's Tony, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to get more clients as a software development agency and get rid of those flip-flopping between months where you're desperately searching for a new client and months with a ton of work. Now, to do it, you actually need to take 3 steps. And by the end of those steps, you're going to be able to consistently get clients coming in and growing your business steadily. So watch this video until the end to get all the steps you need to take. So the first step, reaching out. The only way you can really start to get clients predictably is if you have the ability to reach out to them. Now, the problem most dev shops have is that they're unable to do any outbound marketing to their prospects because they don't really even have a clear target audience outlined. And if you don't have a target audience, things start to fall apart pretty fast. You don't know who to talk to, so your outreach is less efficient. So you already have a much less efficient sales machine. Then on top of that, every project seems like it's a small project, but because everything is custom, you almost always have to do adjustments and troubleshoot mistakes, and this leads to long delivery times and higher costs and lower profits. Then after a long month of delivering on a custom project, you go back to inefficient outbound prospecting to get the next client to cover payroll, and the cycle starts again. But if you niche down, you can actually break this cycle. With a clear target audience, your outbound can be clear and even outsourced to a virtual assistant. Now, this clears up time for you to do other important work and brings in more clients on autopilot. Also, projects are similar to each other because you only have to solve a specific problem for a specific target group. And because of that, you can even productize the delivery and make the turnaround time a lot faster. That makes you be able to take on a lot more clients at the same time. And also, you never need to break the sales cycle since everything is automated. Clients keep coming in, and with that kind of predictability, you can start growing your team without the stress of where's the next client gonna come from. Now, here are a couple tips on how you can niche down. First tip, look at which clients have been the most profitable until now and see if there's a pattern when it comes to the problems that you solve, the industries, and maybe even the software types. If you find it, double down on it. Another tip, run experiments on different target audiences and different messaging. See who responds best to what. And the third tip, when you're niching, target those people actively, but I wouldn't necessarily turn away all the work. You still need to keep the business running in the meantime. But how do you actually do outbound in the first place? Here are a couple outbound strategies. There are a few ways you can approach it. One way is to have a high touch, low volume approach. So think about it this way. Maybe it's having a podcast where you invite CXOs, or maybe you have some type of roundtable where you're inviting in an exclusive group of people, or maybe it's just going out to lunch with people, especially if you're targeting a local audience. Another way would be high volume, low touch. Think things like conversational prospecting on LinkedIn, or maybe cold email marketing. But when you do marketing, remember that software development is a high trust, high relationship business. Even if you have a high volume approach, it still needs to feel like you personalized everything, and you still have to build a relationship. That way you can get outbound to work. Now, outbound is really good to get started, but if you get sick or you go on vacation, or if for whatever reason the sales stop, there's no other way for people to remember you. That is why the third step is establishing a social media presence. Now, social media affects your prospects in 2 ways. First, it keeps you in their mind as an option when they need a dev shop to solve a problem, and it builds trust with the people who you reach out to through your outbound channels. My clients usually use either LinkedIn or Instagram, but LinkedIn is mostly the better place because there's more business people that tend to congregate on the platform. If you already do outbound, posting 3 times a week on LinkedIn can make a massive change in how people respond to your messages. And that really is the power of posting on LinkedIn. Typically, the posts themselves don't generate a lot of interest or buying habits, but they do grease the wheels in your outbound messaging. The difference between somebody with a bad profile and no activity versus an active account with regular posts contacting you is huge. It can be the difference between signing a new client or not signing them. But in order to do content and outbound right, you have to avoid a couple mistakes that make sales for dev shops really hard. First of all, don't talk about the languages you're coding in. Focus on your audience by proxy. So for example, if you're a .NET developer, you're going to be doing it in the Microsoft environment. So you look for people that develop things in that environment. You're not going to go talking about how you're an excellent .NET developer because quite frankly, most of the people who are going to buy from you don't really know what that means. Another big mistake is you should not be all things to all people. So don't try to say that you do everything for everybody. Doing that is going to alienate your target audience and fail to convince the person you're talking to. The third mistake, don't use price as an incentive. Undercutting your prices is the fastest way for you to go bankrupt. Once clients see that you can undercut, It devalues your service, and they're going to keep on doing it until you can't serve them anymore. Now, even if you get all the clients in the world, if you use the wrong pricing strategy, you might still end up in the negative. So in the next video, I'm going to show you the best pricing strategy to make your profits skyrocket, and also the one strategy that you should avoid at all costs if you don't want to go bankrupt soon. See you in the next video.